Thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to be reviewing the Trek RSL Road Cycling Carbon Cycling Shoes. The new Trek RSL Road Cycling shoes are one of their latest RSL products and claim to couple classic aesthetics with game-changing tech. In terms of packaging, you can see very simple. You have the nice chrome finish on the RSL logo, a black cardboard shoebox with some basic Trek branding on it, and then the specific specs for the version we have here printed directly on there. I'll go ahead and open this up. We'll go over the specs. As a part of the RSL lineup, this is a $449.95 shoe. It's not their most expensive. They actually have a knit version of this, which is almost $500. These are designed for road racing, so very stiff and nice high performance properties, so prevent you from losing any watts during a sprint or high intensity efforts. These have a dual BOA Li2 dial, which is one of the top end BOA dials, which give you micro tightening and loosening, which is really nice. The other big feature here is the MetNet technology. So that's what these little three-sided stars are. So little perforations on here, and you can see how flexible that is. So especially exactly where you need it, this can flex around you. So when your feet expand, the shoe won't fight you. It'll actually just contour around you. And you can see overall very lightweight shoe and quite flexible. You have the OCLV carbon fiber sole, which is Trek's most stiff sole they offer. So this is a 14 out of 14 on their stiffness index, and you can see full carbon fiber with no compromise here. You have nice vents to keep you cool and a standard 3-bolt setup for Shimano SPD-SL or Loquio. This also has their updated Trek Pro Last, which gives you a nice anatomical fit, so you can see a little bit wider and sleek profile to it. In terms of what you get, obviously you get the two shoes. There's some basic stuffing in here to keep it safe during transport. And then you do also get a bag, which is always nice. So you get a nice fabric carrying bag, and this lets you store the shoes or travel with them with this cool Trek logo printed right on there. Now let's take a look at the weight of the shoes. These are the Euro 43.5 version. So if we put the right one on the scale, it's 249 grams. Then if we put the left one on here, that one's a little bit heavier at 253. Visually, the Trek RSL road shoes look like classic road cycling shoes with a dual dial setup and a perforated tongue. In contrast to the flashy Trek RSL Knit shoes, their RSL road shoes have a subtle design with a synthetic upper material and then glossy accents. Trek only offers this in two color schemes. You have white and then the full black version we have here. With the white one, you retain these black accents, which gives it a little tuxedo look. With the black ones, you can see very sleek design, minimal branding. You just have the Trek on the outer portion of the heel cups, and then MetNet and the BOA logos. These are also reflective, so you do have a little bit of additional visibility at night, even if you go all black. It's a pretty clean design, should match just about anything. And then some of the flashier bits are the insoles, where you can see it says Trek RSL. One of the cool things about these shoes is the MetNet technology though. That's what these little triangles are. So it gives the upper material a nice flexibility. You get airflow through it and allows these shoes to really expand around your feet. So if you're doing a high effort sprint or you're doing a long ride where your feet expand, this will adjust with you, so you can see nice anatomical design that's nice and wide. It actually matches normal people's feet. As far as the sole, Trek has designed this to be one of the stiffest shoes and accommodate road racers, really high intensity sprinters. So that's why this is a full OCLV carbon fiber sole. It has a stiffness index of 14 out of 14, which is the stiffest one within the Trek lineup. So you can see really nice and stiff, that ensures you get all the watts down. It's compatible with standard 3-bolt cleats, so SPD-SL or Loquio. You can see the cleat position is non-adjustable, so they're simply centered, and then you can adjust the cleat. You do have a little positioning guides here, directly printed onto the sole, and then vents on the front and back that help funnel air through it. There's a simple toe bumper here, which is a little rubber pad with the Trek brand on there, and then a very low profile heel pad. It's not replaceable and it's very low. Would have been nice if they stuck out a little bit more to help with walking, which is very difficult to do with something like the SPD-SL or Loquio without getting this all scratched up. It's also a very subtle carbon fiber weave, so you can see in certain light, you can see some of that carbon fiber, but it's not a glossy finish. As far as the closure system, you have a dual dial setup, which is nice. So fully adjustable here, you have the top BOA Li2 dial and then a bottom one. Standard 3-row setup, so you can see the bottom one will adjust the toe box, and then the top one adjusts the heel. So you get a lot of adjustment here, and it's a very classic design. So it gives you a lot of adjustment, and then with the BOA Li2 dial, it's a top of the line dial. You can do micro tightening and then micro loosening. So it gives you really a lot of adjustment, and then you can pull up to do a full release to put the shoes on or take them off. And with these dials, they also have this nice rubber grip around there while still being low profile, so very easy to adjust while you're riding. Just reach down and do a quick adjustment. So if you're about to do a sprint, you can tighten them up. And then if you're just doing a long ride, you can loosen them as your feet expand. As far as the insole, you can see if I open this up and pull this out, you can see it's actually made with Rise, which is by Bloom. It's a bio-based foam replacement. Feels like foam, but you can see more environmentally friendly. It's actually a nice construction. You have perforations that match the vent on the front, and then this nice curved design that wraps around the edges of the shoe. If we turn a little light on the inside, you can see pretty much all black design, and now you can really see all the vents too. So if I light this up, you can see the nice MetNet perforations, give you a lot of airflow and flexibility. The whole top is perforated, and same thing with the side here. You can also see the front vent is exposed here. So you have those directly into the shoe while these go underneath it. So nice to see there. So a nice road racing shoe that's not too flashy. Now let's take a look at these shoes on the road. As you can see, the upper material is very flexible. That MetNet perforations allow your shoes to expand. So even if you have wider feet like us, just the standard width version is really comfortable, and there's plenty of room to expand. Even though these aren't the knit version, you can see it's also very pliable, so there's no pressure points, and you can easily adjust the fit thanks to the dual BOA Li2 dials. Even on short or long rides, the shoes felt really nice. They remind us a lot of the Bont Vapor shoes. They have a similar lacing pattern and construction, and they also have the anatomical shape. It's not quite as extreme as the Bont ones, but with the wider toe box here, it felt really comfortable. As far as sizing, we did do that half size lower, so if you do have a Shimano Euro 44, we found the sizing chart indicated 43.5 was the proper size, and we're pleasantly surprised to find that everything fit well, just like the sizing chart suggested. So we do recommend using that and comparing to the other brands if you haven't worn Trek shoes before. We do wish they had more color options, as these are pretty low-key for a $450 pair of shoes, but the performance is great and they're nice and stiff, and there's no discomfort even on multi-hour rides. Now let's compare the Trek RSL shoes with other shoes on the market. Here we have a wide range, including the Trek Velocis. So this one's almost half the price at $250. And you can see with the bright red color here, it looks a little bit more flashy, but very similar designs. They both have the dual Li2 dials. They both have the same cable routing, and they both have the MetNet technology. So you can see those perforations along both sides, and they're both quite flexible. With the RSL, it's stiffer. So the Velocis has the composite sole. So it's a mix of carbon fiber and fiberglass. While the RSL is a full carbon construction, so it's 14 out of 14 with their stiffness index. This one's a 10 out of 14. But otherwise quite similar shapes, and the nice thing about the RSL is it's a little bit wider. So you can see the form on this is wider around the center, so more anatomical, whereas a little more narrow Velocis. We also have some other selections here, like the DMT KR0. This is a full knit construction, so you can see very flexible. This one's flexible, not quite as much as this one though. It almost feels like a water shoe. Dual BOA Li2 dials again, which is the top of the line. This is almost a $500 shoe. So similar price to this, or the RSL Knit version. And you can see very flexible with perforations, but doesn't have the MetNet technology. And you can see a more ventilated base. And as you ride this, you can see the carbon fiber definitely gets damaged, which is one thing I don't like about this very low profile heel pad. So even with this taller heel pad, you can see this one's all still scratched up. So I expect this one to get scratched up as well. These shoes also aren't as flashy as the Shimano S-PHYRE. These are the 903, which is the latest version. So this is the classic Shimano blue color. This iridescent finish, it looks really cool. And you can see with this one, it's more exotic design. You do have a 3-row setup, but you have a strap on top rather than the cable routing. dual BOA Li2 dials, and you can see more of an integrated design where the upper surface actually goes down the center and you can see the stitch mark. So a unique shoe, but more expensive. And one of my favorite shoes is the Bont Vaypor. This is the latest version, so you can see very simple. Same 3-row design, BOA Li2 dials, perforations on the side, but with a Bont. You can see the carbon fiber structure goes all the way up. It's like a bathtub design, so you get that nice heel cup rather than this additional structure. And you can see more anatomical, so comparing these side to side, the Bont is just wider all the way throughout. So if you have wider feet, and this is the wide version as well, so it's a little more exaggerated, you can see Bont is always just more anatomically shaped. Now let's go over the pros and cons for the Trek RSL shoes. What we like about them is you have a stiff carbon sole, so it really lets you transfer all the power into the bike and not lose any watts. It also has an anatomical shape, which is really comfortable, and with the MetNet upper material, it flexes around your feet, so even if you do a really long ride, you have plenty of room to expand. You also have an adjustable fit with the dual BOA Li2 dial, so you can adjust the upper and bottom portion separately, and you have the micro tightening and loosening capability. Main negatives of the shoes is the fact you do have limited color options. It's only available in white and black currently. And then we found the Trek insoles lacked arch support, and unlike Shimano, they don't give you the option to adjust that arch support. Taking everything into account would give these shoes a 9.2 out of 10. They have a nice anatomical fit and a very stiff sole. Thanks for watching this review. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You can see more content from us on our website at thesweetcyclist.com, as well as follow us on Instagram at thesweetcyclist. This is The Sweet Cyclist reminding you to enjoy the ride.